Well, hello. My name is Bob Milne. Most of you know me as a piano player, but I am here for the Pacifica Historical Society, this time with two of my very good friends who I will introduce to you in a moment. And tonight I am the host of the show, Footprints of Pacifica. We get together here every week to discover and explore the lure and the lore of both downtown and greater Pacifica. Its character and characters. I like the characters part. Although I don't live in Pacifica, I'm from Michigan, but you people were extremely generous and you made me an honorary citizen of your wonderful town one time, for which I'm eternally thankful. Every summer I come out here, I'm a pianist and I play a benefit concert for the Little Brown Church or other related projects. Now, I would like to introduce you to my two wonderful friends and guests. I have Louis Clark over here. Louis, you are from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Thank you for coming with us.
My pleasure.
Oh, what a pleasure to have you here. And my good friend from Michigan and close neighbor and good friend, Ron Ludy.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here. Ron, have you ever been in California before?
This is my first time to California, and it has been amazing.
It is amazing. And look what happened. The three of us ended up in town on a completely unrelated topic. And the Pacifica Historical Society, they lassoed us going down the street. You might see that in the papers here soon. And they dragged us in here, and now we are here because many of you in Pacifica have been asking where I have gone around the world on my travels. Once again, I'm a pianist. I'm extremely lucky. I'm extremely lucky because I've traveled around the world because people wanted me here to hear me play the piano. How lucky can I be, Louis?
Absolutely not any luckier than you already are.
Thank you. Well, now, they asked me to bring along a few photographs or pictures. So, not too long ago, I played down in Norfolk, Virginia, and you'll never believe what the occasion was for. It was for the christening of an aircraft carrier. I think we got a picture of that around here somewhere. Look at that, there it is. That is the USS George H.W. Bush carrier. And I was asked to do a performance at the launching of this, or I should say christening, commissioning, I think, is what they called it. I am not a politician. I have played for politicians on both sides of the aisles, and I have played for Mr. George H.W. Bush and Barbara on quite a few different occasions. And because of that, I was honored with coming down there. Now, let's see. Where did we go? Where do we go next from this? Let me see. Where are we next? Look at that. That's Florida over there. Now, it's always a little bit intimidating to go to Florida because every piece of water that they have has got something like that following you along and looking up at you. Yeah, I'm sure you can see the alligator there. They just happen to show up where food is. Never mind. Let's go on to the next one. This one actually came walking right up out of the pond and across the sidewalk in front of me and Linda, my wife, and guess what we did? We stopped in our tracks. Can you imagine that? A few shots from Florida right there. This is the kind of stuff that I get to see when we're out walking around. I don't have any of the... No, look at the size of that alligator right there. These are Florida shots. This one had captured a deer, and it's swimming along with it, and if you notice the size of its snout, it goes almost up to the deer's back. That was in back of a barbecue place we were at in the Florida Panhandle. And also, right out in the back of that barbecue place, this guy had shot a snake. That's a rattlesnake. Not too shabby for a rattlesnake. I'm sure you can see the size of that thing. These pictures, by the way, they were hanging on a little bulletin board near the front of the place. Now, right here, good grief. You're in Switzerland, dude. This is the city, the country capital of Bern. Now, Louis, you are from Europe. You are from Denmark.
Yes, I am. And Bern is actually a word that means bear,
Yes.
and it comes from the Latin root. And it's very similar to the word for bears in other European countries.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Bern. And Ron, over here in America, you always pronounce it the way
Burn.
Burn, yes. But going back to our picture, you're looking across the capital city of Bern, and the reason I was there was that I was part of the State Department. I was a musical ambassador for the State Department, and I was doing well, let me back up. I'm going to back up to that one. I was doing a performance for the embassy, the Swiss embassy and the American embassy. But first, we took a little cruise around Switzerland, and there's only one way to go up to the tops of the mountain. You're looking at it right there, and we did that. We went past this place. I took this picture out the window of a train somewhere. And but now we have zapped back, and we're back in Bern there, and that is me under the umbrella on the left, and our good friend Luana Melberg, who on the right there, she traveled with us. My wife Linda took this picture. That is the embassy. I'm sorry, the embassy residence. The ambassador lives in that house. And if you want to travel flatland, the only way to do it is by boats, because there is no flat land. You look on both sides of the lakes. And so that is the bus line of Switzerland. And you go along there past this 700-year-old building. And now we are going back up that mountain. It starts looking like this. Let's see, Ron, we don't have anything like this in Michigan, do we?
No, we have nothing near that altitude.
Do you have anything like that up there in Kitchener?
No, I'm afraid not.
Okay, well, let's go back to Switzerland here and take a look at this, because we're on our way upstairs to Jungfrau Joch. As you see that, the only way up to that thing was they burrowed a train tunnel that spiraled its way up the inside of that mountain. Now, this location right here was used in a James Bond movie in which they were going to rebuild this observatory up there. And they wanted a good way to get rid of it. Well, since James Bond was making a movie over there, they created a scene where he was escaping from the old one on a helicopter, and as he's going up into the air, they blew the old Jungfrau Joch Observatory off the face of the map. It went off in flames with Sean Connery flying off into the air above it. So let's go back to Switzerland here and take a look at where we went from there. Yes, we're standing there. That's myself. It's kind of shadowy. And Luana, our friend, Linda took the picture. Martin Jaeger, a great piano player from Switzerland there on the right-hand side. And I said to Martin, at this point, I said, I hear an airplane droning over us. And he said, no, you don't. That's an avalanche right in back of us. And it went on, and I said, maybe we should leave. Let's see. Ah, look at this. We have suddenly jumped back to we are in Washington, D.C. As you see what is written on there, I'm at the Library of Congress. Now, Ron, you were aware of this.
Yes. And Dr. James Billington, the Librarian of Congress, bestowed on you a recognition that you were a musical treasure,
Yes.
national treasure.
Yeah. That's right, and once again, I constantly say how lucky I am. Let's go back to our picture there, and we have somebody up in the audience took a picture of Dr. Billington there, and he's actually presenting me with a Mozart score there. It's not an original, but it's a copy of an original. And then a moment later, he announced from the stage that I was a national treasure, and I tell you, I didn't know what to think. I still don't know what to think. I'll tell you people who are watching or listening that I feel very, very lucky that I can play a piano at all, and even luckier that people enjoy what I do.
How many ragtime people do they interview?
How many ragtime people does the library interview? The last one they interviewed was in 1938, and there was a guy that called himself Jelly Roll Martin. So let's see, back to our slides. Let's see what's coming up next on this. Oh, we're over in Ireland. We're in front of a wee cottage. Yes, I played in the Northern Ireland Ragtime Festival 4 or 5 times. It's held in Derry. On the map it says Londonderry, but they pronounce it Derrytown up there. That's a few of the local folks. Oh, let's see, where did our slide go? I dropped it on the floor, it appears. There, look at this. Hey, I'm accompanying the legendary fiddler Dinny McLaughlin. Right there, you see me in back of him. This man is a national treasure in Ireland, I'll tell you that right now.
Bob, that reminds me.
Yes.
That's not the first time you have accompanied a fiddle player.
No,
Do you
it isn't.
remember a name, Frank Leahy,
Do I?
the Canadian fiddle champion?
How would I not know that name? Because you, my good friend, orchestrated a concert. You, Louis, came up to me and said that you and Frank Leahy had listened to me playing somewhere or other. And I got a phone call from Louis, and he said, Bob, how would you like to play a concert with the Canadian fiddle champion? And I said, when? How do I get there? And you arranged for 2 or 3 performances.
And we had a wonderful time.
We certainly did. That we could do a whole night on that. Let's see. Let's go back to Ireland. There. Look at that. There's Dinny McLaughlin. What a performer. What a gentleman. I went to his cottage many times. But look at this. The plane just veered off course, and that is Mount. That's Fujiyama over there. That little white peak you see.
Before you go on, Bob.
Yes. Yes.
When you travel, you alluded to that just a minute ago. You don't just travel as an ordinary tourist. I understand that the State Department have appointed you the musical ambassador to the world on behalf of the United States. Is that correct?
Did I tell you that I was lucky?
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Yes, that is correct. And over here in Japan, I'm going to show you some of the largesse that they bestowed upon us. Can we go back to Mount Fuji there? There it is going by as we're coming in. Because the State Department picks us up at the airport in a limo like this. That's made by the Toyota company. It's called a Century. What that means, it's 1 of 100 handmade Toyotas. Why we were given this and that wonderful driver, that's my interpreter there on the left. And we, look at this, concert hall up in Hokkaido, the Northern Ireland. And I'm out there introducing various tunes, and my interpreter is telling them what I'm saying. All of these immense halls that I went to, I was so lucky. Now we went from the northern end of Japan. This is the southernmost island of the Okinawa island chain. We're down on Ishigaki Island. And I did a performance there, and the hotel manager told me, look outside, Bob, we have the flag of Japan, and we raised the flag of America for us, for our little entourage. And I also performed with the man on the left there, Kosen Kagami Sensei. Sensei means master. He is the greatest juggler in the world. I did many performances where he did incredible in juggling, and I played soft ragtime. Members of his troupe on the left. Here, look at that. This is a place called The Hub. They actually spelled it in English. And it's a jazz center, and I am playing over there. I'm over on the left, playing with this Japanese Dixieland band.
Not commonly known as Bob has quite a bit of exposure to Dixieland. Tell us a little about that.
Oh, I had a Dixieland band in Detroit for 12 years. We were called, what were we called? Ragtime band. But anyways, our band was phenomenal. Here I can't read. The St. Albans Street Stompers. That was an early name for my band. And they were highly in demand. So I had a lot of Dixieland experience. And that band's piano player, if we can go back to our slide there for just a moment, that band's piano player was touring America on business. And they heard that I was in town, so I ended up playing for them. Let's see, I'll move to the next. Oh, look at this. We know that this isn't Ireland either, and this is Japan. This is one of the great castles. And to give you people an idea of how big these places are, the moat around this place is 20 miles long. And then there's lesser moats as invaders try to come in. There's the 15-mile moat and the 9-mile moat. Now we are in Africa. Holy cow. This is in the Nairobi airport, and we're going to go flying 3 hours out into the bush with that. And Ron, you were commenting on the hat on my
Yes,
table here.
I see that hat that you have. How many times has that been under duress?
This hat has been under duress many times. I got it actually to go over to Africa. This hat has been chased by alligators in Florida. It has been chased by elephants in Africa and stalked by lions.
Are you sure it wasn't you that was being chased?
Well, it might have been because I was wearing it, but I didn't want to really come out and say that. Thank you, Louis. Let's go back to Africa here, and we're going to see the plane. And that little plane flew us all of those miles out into the bush. And oh, this is an amazing picture. We are traveling in a Land Rover, and the driver wheel is on the right, and this man, a Maasai tribesman, is driving it. But he stopped and he told us to shut up and not say a word because there's something coming down the road. We can't go sideways because there's swamps. The thing coming down the road was that. That is a Cape buffalo, and it hates people. And just take a look at that and decide for yourself if it could have destroyed the car that we were in and us with it. Yes, it could. Here's one more picture of its power. It's up to its chest in mud, and it's just walking through it like it's not even there, and it's eating the grass. So now up there I wrote that, yes, even high-powered rifles bounce off of that thing's horns. It lowers its head and comes at you, and there's nothing that'll stop it at that point. Now let's see what, oh yes, we drove around and we went past the Maasai tribal encampments, and these people dressed in that beautiful, colorful attire came out and greeted us. By the way, notice how much of it is red. That's because lions don't like the color red. These people travel, when they walk around, they wear a lot of red or dark purple, both anti-lion colors. This man is amazing. You'll notice that his legs are painted. If he kneels down in the tall yellow grass, you can't see him at all. He wears very little in the way of clothes because he says the clothes that we wear trap bodily smells, and the lion can find him instantly. Therefore, he wears next to nothing. Underneath his arm there, towards the right side of the picture, there's a big cluster of flowers because he said that helps to disguise his scent to the lion. He wears paint on his face because when he goes through the jungle at night to go to his village, he puts paint on this branch over here. And then the lion smells him there, and it looks around the tree and the bushes, and he's further down the trail putting paint on other branches, and the lion keeps looking at checking out the paint. Okay, and this is not a lion, that is a cheetah, and our guides told us you'd never get out of this Land Rover, Bob, unless we tell you it's okay. There is one of the reasons why. That chalet up in the background is where we stayed. That is not a tourist place. A friend of ours owns it, and we stayed in it. And these elephants, there's probably 20 of them standing around our Land Rover right now, and the driver had a foot on the gas and a foot on the brake, and I took the picture, and he took the foot off the brake. There's the chalet. Notice that it's missing a front wall. Yes, it's so we can overlook the valley. But more importantly, it's because when nobody's home, the animals want to see what's inside. So they go inside whether you want them to or not. So when you're coming home and you're half a mile away, the leopard that's in your house can hear the Land Rover, and he'll just go right over that rail, and he's gone. Snakes, in fact, when's the last time, Ron, when is the last time you walked out the door of your house and found a snake up in the tree?
I can't remember that event.
How about you, Louis?
Let me see now. Never.
Never. Well, let's go back to our slides, because we had a visitor come to us. There he is. He's in that bag. That's a 15-foot reticulated python. It will eventually grow to 30 feet. But this one, female, was up in a tree right outside, in back of that chalet you saw. And the Maasai guys, they came out and they said, oh, there's a python in the tree. So they just went up the tree and brought her down. Now, I'm not going to go into any of that further. Let's go on to our next slide. let's see what we got next here. I think there is the chief of the Maasai warriors in the middle there. His name is Kyoke. Yes, he's small. The Maasai are not tall. On the left is Tom Hill, a very dear friend of ours, and that's the man that started the Save the Lions program. They work closely with the Maasai tribe. There is Paul. Paul was actually our full-time 24-hour friend and guide. He's wearing clothes like us because he wants to be like us, but he's showing us how to make a Maasai toothbrush. He made it out of a twig from that tree, and then he stabbed at the tree, and sap came out, very thick white sap. And he said, he called it Maasai Colgate. He says, this is toothpaste. And so we tried out his toothbrush and his toothpaste, and all it did was pull. That toothpaste pulled stuff out from between our teeth. And it wasn't foaming, it just went in between your teeth and pulled it out. And I said, good grief, I want to get a tube of this. Okay, let's see, I'm watching our time. We've got limited time here, folks. Look at that, they took us to a tribal dance. We went over a mountain range. And this is the Wakamba tribe. There are 4 of those drummers back there, all 4 of them playing a different rhythm. There's a whole herd of dancers out here in front. I was not able to decipher the differences between the rhythms coming out of 4 different drums. This is the most amazing thing I ever heard. But it's like it said there, it has to be heard to be believed. It's beyond description. And the last night we were in town, we're back at the chalet, and they served us dinner outside, and the sun went down, and the tribe came out of the jungle and danced around us. They did, one of the dances they did is called, I just went to the next slide. The dance that they did was called the lion dance. What does that mean? Well, you'll see that towards the right-hand side, this guy has leaped straight up in the air from a standing position. Look how high he is. His feet are visible. And the object of the lion dance is I need to be able to see across the tall grass to see what's looking at me. So I go straight up in the air. And then when they would come down, and they lunge forward with a spear in their hands. It's symbolic of spearing a lion to survive. But the spear went right through my hair. And we practiced for accuracy on you, Bob. So they went dancing around me. Would you be running by now, Louis?
Far away.
Yeah, well, the trick is, though, that you can't outrun these guys. They run for a living. Now, I've got a couple more shots of that Maasai tribe. There they are, and this is Joel, and he was dancing. Look at he is today a dear friend of ours, and he liked to wear that robe. And he told me, Bob, he said, the warriors like us, we carry spears. He says, but the elders carry a stick, like the stick that he's got there. And he says, because you are an elder, he presented me with that stick. Here we are, we're back in America. We've got that van right there, went 60, 70,000 miles a year. I gave it to my daughter when that van hit 603,000 miles. And she is driving it now.
You got good use out of it.
I did. I've got another van, and she is still using it because we keep it in tip-top shape. That van went to the next place right here that we're going to see, second aircraft carrier. This is the USS George Washington. And I played a concert out at sea aboard it, and look what's hanging up above me, bombs and fuel tanks, and I'm playing to 5,000 people. Now that's a picture of the George Washington. If you were to fall off of that deck, you would drop 10 stories before you hit the water. Have a nice day. We'll move right ahead. Oh, this is a Vanderbilt mansion out in Rhode Island, Newport. And I played in the gold room here. Why is it called the gold room? Well, look at the furniture, look at the paint on the walls. It's 17 karat gold leaf paint. Oh yes, somebody said I played pool from time to time. Right here in the background is Grady Matthews, the world champion. We were asked by the University of Michigan to put on a demonstration, a pool demonstration. Grady's a friend of ours. And so in back of us is a great number of bleachers and people sitting in the bleachers watching us. and they paid money to come and watch Grady Matthews. I'm going to go to the next slide there of Grady. There we are. Now, I'm not supposed to say which one of us won the pool demonstration. I'll go back to that. I didn't lose. But I felt embarrassed because people came there to see him. Charles Eisendrath, the head of the Wallace House of Journalism, University of Michigan. Now here we are at the Air Canada stage. We are in Montreal, the Jazz Festival. I got 12,000 people in front of me right there. Louis, you're familiar with that?
Yes, it's a wonderful cosmopolitan city, and I certainly would not hesitate recommending people go visiting, especially when there's a jazz festival.
Exactly so. Now I want to get to our next film here, because we are on limited time. And this next shot is in Canada once again. And there is Frank Leahy, who you arranged for me to have these wonderful concerts with the Canadian fiddle champion. Notice that I've got music on the stand there. It's because Frank felt more comfortable if I had it, but I couldn't read it. This is the Eastman School of Music, where I was a French horn player in the 1959 to 63. I was in the Rochester Philharmonic. If you look close, that lighted sign has got my name on it. And there I am playing, just finishing a concert at Eastman. I came back 45 years later as a pianist. And there's my van, and in the middle of it, it says 500,000 miles. Can you guys see that? The odometer says 500,000 miles. And thank you very, very much for having me as part of your Historical Society program and for allowing me to share these few moments with you. And Louis Clark, thank you for joining me. And Ron Ludi, what a pleasure to have you gentlemen with me. And I still have my little Africa hat. Let's hope I can get through Pacifica with it.
Yes.
It's been a delight, Bob.
It's been my pleasure.
Absolutely a delight.
All of you people in the studio, every one of you who I've known for many years, thank you for this. Do you hear some sort of noise?
I do.
It sounds like Japanese gongs or something going off. Maybe they're doing that. Who knows what it is?
We're running out of time.
Yeah, we ran out of time. Yeah, you know what that was? That was the timer that they gave me over here.